Florida, a dream state where many people go to retire and live their golden years. A place where people relocate for fun in the sun. Many reasons why people move into Florida. But in this video, we're going to talk about the top 3 reasons people move out of Florida. Number 1, they miss their family. Their family in Massachusetts, their family in Ohio, their family in Michigan, their family in New Jersey. Wherever they're from, they get to a year or so living in Florida, and they go a couple holidays without their family, and maybe they run into some things about Florida and they realize it isn't perfect. And so it makes the remembrance of their family and the idea of being close to family a hard thing to get past mentally. Like, have you ever experienced breaking up with someone and over time you start to visualize the relationship you have with them as better than it was? Meaning that you may move to Florida and you may think of moving out because you miss your family. And you're starting to think of family time as better than what it was. Because the reality is you only saw your family maybe during the holidays. And even when you saw your family for the holidays, after a couple days, you got tired of your family and you needed your own space. So I'd say be very careful on moving out of Florida because of your family, because in many instances, the idea is different than the reality. But the reality is, I would think the number 1 reason why people move out of Florida is they miss their family. I've known a couple people that is why they move back up north, because one of the people missed their family. And that's something, especially if you're married, especially if you have children. There's nothing like a bond with a mother and her children or a mother and her grandchildren. And she wants to be by them. And that's going to be tough to break for most people. So that's something you have to consider when you move into Florida, why you may move out, and at least talk about it, think about it, and that's how this video will help you. Number 2, the number 2 reason why people move out of Florida. The humidity starts to rise in the summer, and the people start to say, well, hold on. Maybe winter isn't that bad. Maybe I do want 4 seasons. Because maybe someone only visited Florida in the winter, from December through April, where the humidity levels are low, the temperatures are in the 60s, 70s, 80s, it's gorgeous. And they don't understand the humidity and the being like in a sauna from, June a little bit, but July, the end of July, August, September, and by October you're worn out, but it's still not over yet. The humidity doesn't start to die down, and hurricane season doesn't end until the end of November, technically. So after experiencing that, for many people, they can't handle it. And they remember the 4 seasons is better than what it was. But I'll tell you, remember when you got snow in between your sock and your Timberland boot and it froze your ankle? Remember when you were boarded in your house, when you were housebound, when you were hibernating for months and you saw gray skies? See, you may move out of Florida for the second reason, because the humidity is too much in the summer. But you better remember how bad winters were. And, you got to make that decision. But that's something that is a reality on why people move out of Florida. Can't take the humidity over time. And they think they're willing to deal with the winters again. But I think when they go back to the winter, they realize, hey, I'll deal with the humidity. But everyone has their own view. But these are things, again, to talk about, to add value to you. So it helps you to at least think about before you make the final decision. Because remember, not like, you can go back to your ex and then you can break up again. But once you move to Florida and then you move back up north or wherever, you're probably not going to move back to Florida again. So you only kind of have one shot at Florida. Not like your ex, we got many shots and destroyed your life. Okay? God bless. All right, guys, we're going to go to number 3. But if you like these videos and you're not subscribed, subscribe. But mainly click that blue join button. Get unlimited access to all my live feeds, which I do every day. you know what it is. Number 3. The number 3 reason why people move out of Florida is people bought up property in a place they only knew online. They moved to Ocala, Florida, thinking that it was tropical paradise. But Ocala, Florida versus Palm Beach, Florida is totally different. See, Florida's such a big state that many people up north, they look online at cheap places in Florida and they see a picture of a palm tree and they say, oh, this is a nice area. Why is it so cheap? I'm going to go here. There's a palm tree. It's in Florida. It's good. But there's a different there's a different climate in North Florida, in Central Florida, and South Florida. South Florida is where it says relatively warm beach weather almost all year round. North Florida, the winters could be cold, and you ain't going to the beach if you're in Orlando. And if you're in Ocala, Florida, you're more likely to ride a horse than to, ride a beach floaty, because most of Florida is agricultural farming land, okay? And if you're coming to Florida for the beach, the sun, and the weather, but you move to the Panhandle or you move to Ocala, you're not really living what you thought you would live. See, that's why you should, before you move to Florida, or before you buy property in Florida, move to Florida and live here for a couple years to see what area you like. And if you like the beach, don't move to Orlando, because it's an hour and a half away from the beach. Move, and when you buy property or when you live in Florida, remember why you came. You came for a hot weather beach. You didn't come to ride horses and to grow crops. And for some people, they didn't do the research. They didn't visit Florida enough to understand that there's different cultures, there's different vibes, there's different energy in different parts of the state. Okay. And so they found this place online, whether rent or buy. They came to it, and then they realized, well, this is a horrible area of Florida, because guess what, guys? Florida has bad areas. So then they say, well, I'd rather go back to, Ohio. And then they go back to Ohio, and then they're trapped for the rest of their life. So I want to encourage you to not just look online, but when you visit Florida, to go to different areas. There's different cultures, different energy, different vibe. And there's not just the tourist areas, Disney World, Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville. You don't want to go to, those are the major 4 hubs. You want to go in the areas outside those hubs so that you can find good local areas that vibe with the energy you want. And there's a difference between the East Coast of Florida and the West Coast. Different energy. The Atlantic Ocean, high energy, diverse, mixed, living a vida loca. West Coast, retiree, laid back, villages. It's a different vibe, different energy. Everyone has their own vibe. So what I want to share with you in this are the top 3 reasons why people move out of Florida, which I broke it down. Number 1, they miss family. Number 2, the humidity, the heat's too much in the summer. Remember, the Miami Heat, the basketball team, they're named the Miami Heat because it's that hot. Okay, like who names a basketball team after the weather? Miami does. Okay, guys. And number 3 is people chose to live in an area that they didn't research, and it was a different reality than their idea of Florida, and so they moved out of Florida. But Florida is the what you imagine, but you have to find the right spots to live, whether you rent or buy, or else you're going to be disillusioned. So I hope that helped you. Again, if it did, subscribe. If you're not, click that blue join button. You want to support the channel. I go live every night. Okay. Check out my playlist. I have a whole playlist about moving to Florida. It breaks it down to help you. Okay. Because it's a big decision to move. It's risky. It's expensive. It's scary. Okay. But it's a big regret to live your life in a state that doesn't inspire you. It's a big regret to have 6 to 8 months out of the year where you can't go outside for a walk. Oh, you could destroy your life living in the wrong environment. So it's worth it to uproot your life and move to Florida if you research first, you do it responsibly, you're honest with yourself, and if it's just yourself, because if you're with a family, a lot more considerations. Okay, even though I think the quality of life overall, if researched right, is better in Florida than many other states, especially now where people can work remotely. There's a lot more opportunities, etc. Because that was the big thing for years, that, up north you make a better living. And that's true on average. But as technology advanced and we saw like people can now work remotely, A lot has changed, and the population grows in Florida, etc. So thank you again for watching. Click that thumbs up on the way out. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.